Nature and technology work hand in hand to create a bottomless well of sustainable energy. The sun powers solar panels. Delta breezes and mountain water move gigantic turbines. Steam, rising from the Earth's core, is captured in geothermal plants. Biofuels, such as wood chips and restaurant leftovers, are transformed into electricity. Dairy digesters help cows supply us with more than just milk. Clean energy, energy that emits no carbon into the atmosphere, is all around us, and it's picking up steam. In the last decade, the portion of SMUD's power supply classified as renewable by the state of California swelled from 4% to nearly 30%. And nearly 50% of SMUD's power supply is carbon-free.
We used to call this alternative energy. Well, all energy forms are alternatives. And renewables is not alternative energy. It's one of the mainstays of the future.
Scientists agree that the burning of fossil fuels to generate electricity contributes to air pollution and climate change. With California being the epicenter of the clean energy movement in the United States, SMUD is well positioned to play a leadership role. Thanks to a lot of hard work, SMUD is on track to exceed the state-mandated renewable standard of 33% by the year 2020. The SMUD Board of Directors also adopted a goal of reducing carbon dioxide emissions to 10% of 1990 levels by the year 2050.
So far, SMUD is doing an outstanding job in meeting its renewable energy supply and carbon reduction goals. We've increased our supply substantially over the years from 2003, where we only had probably 3 to 4% supplies, and we've done a really fine job in staying on a track to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions.
While natural gas, oil, and coal are finite resources that produce greenhouse gases, renewable energy comes from boundless resources such as sunlight, wind, and water. Let's take a look at the various renewable options and how SMUD is managing the switch to a cleaner energy mix while continuing to maintain reliability and affordability for its 600,000 customers. SMUD's largest supply of renewable energy currently comes from biomass and biofuels. People have used biomass, the energy stored in plants and other organic material, since they began burning wood to keep warm. Today, SMUD purchases clean power from the Simpson Pulp and Paper Mill in Tacoma, Washington. The cogeneration plant generates power from biomass recovered from the pulping process. Another example, closer to home, is the biogas facility at the Sacramento County Regional Sanitation District's wastewater treatment plant in Elk Grove. Grease waste from local restaurants is converted to biogas that helps fuel SMUD's Cosumnes power plant. Solar and wind are the most recognizable forms of renewable energy. The sun, by itself, produces enough energy to meet all of mankind's energy needs many times over. Solar panels convert sunlight into electricity by absorbing protons and releasing electrons that generate electric currents. Solar trails biomass and wind in SMUD's renewable mix, but solar power is growing.
As we see new technologies, they enter the market, they get into production economies and learning curves, so the prices decline. We're seeing that now with solar as there's more demand worldwide for solar photovoltaics.
Cost has long been one of the biggest obstacles confronting green energy. In most cases, renewable energy is more expensive than carbon-based sources such as natural gas. Yet with the California legislature adopting ambitious clean energy goals, and with utilities such as SMUD developing a more sustainable resource mix, the demand for renewable solutions is growing. Jerry Braun, the Associate Director of the UC Davis Energy Institute, sees brighter days ahead for not just solar, but other sources of renewable power.
Renewable energy is now a global industry that is the same size as the entire global commercial aviation industry. It's not your father's industry anymore. And what that means is that production of equipment is now at a much more economical scale.
The delta breezes that speed through the Montezuma Hills outside Rio Vista provide some of SMUD's most inexpensive non-carbon power. Turbine blades stretch to a height of 411 feet, almost twice the height of the Statue of Liberty. The Solano Wind Project generates enough clean electricity to power 79,000 homes. The hydroelectricity generated from the rivers of snowmelt flowing out of the Sierra Nevada in SMUD's Upper American River project is also carbon-free. California's renewable standards don't count large hydroelectric power plants as renewable generation, in part due to the environmental impacts of damming rivers. The state does, however, count small hydro projects, such as the one at SMUD's Slab Creek Reservoir, as renewable energy.
And we have a powerhouse at the base of this dam, which makes energy off of the minimum flows that have to be released from the dam. And that's the powerhouse down there. And it's a 0.4 megawatt powerhouse. It's renewable because it is less than 30 megawatts. The rule is 30 megawatts or less is a renewable hydropower plant.
SMUD recently completed a power purchase agreement with a geothermal plant in northern Nevada. Geothermal is what's known as a base load renewable, meaning it can provide power at all times of the day. Integrating renewable power into the daily demands of the electric grid is a major challenge. Solar power can only be generated when the sun is shining. Likewise, wind turbines are idle when the wind isn't blowing. Renewable supplies are more variable than fossil fuel sources. To ensure that customers continue to receive electricity whenever they need it, SMUD is exploring clean fill-in options such as solar thermal, compressed air storage, and pumped storage hydroelectricity. SMUD is also investing in forecasting tools such as solar radiation measuring systems that provide cloud cover data on a minute-by-minute basis. Sacramento provides enough sunshine to reduce Kathy Mosquita's electric bill to practically nothing. With solar panels on her roof and an electric vehicle in her garage, she's putting her beliefs into practice.
I think a lot of it stems from the fact that I have kids and I know that we depend so heavily on fossil fuels. It's a finite resource, and I want something to be around for them when they become my age and they have kids of their own. And if we keep consuming energy the way we're doing it now, we're going to run out, and so we have to do something now.
While not everyone has the means or desire to install solar panels or buy a plug-in electric car, SMUD offers voluntary programs such as Greenergy and Solar Shares that allow customers to ensure that at least half of their electricity is coming from renewable resources for just a few dollars a month.
By providing those opportunities for individuals, I think SMUD's letting everybody be involved, and we can all move forward to a more sustainable future.